is up, ladies and gents? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, RAF ESPARZA, coming to you with another installment of The Bullpen, a joint venture between Inside BJJ and The Grappling Hour. I hope you're having a great day. I know it's a little bit later than usual, but I almost didn't do a show today. Our good friend Tim Freeman, he messaged me and he had a message. So why don't we go to Tim right now? Well, Tim is not here. Egg is here, and he will be taking the place of Tim today. Egg, what brings you here on the show today, sir?
I actually was curious when you were going to go live. So Tim had pointed out that Smooth Comp did not match the PGF.World numbers. And I said, well, I'm right. They're wrong. I will send you my spreadsheets. And by the way, when do you go live? He said, yeah, about 4 p.m. Central time-ish. And then, so, about 2 p.m. Best Coast time comes by. I'm like, ish, brother. Ish? What? And, he said, got some issues going on. So, we'll see. And so, I said, okay, I walk the dogs. And eventually, like, hey, Raph, when are we doing this, man? It's a Friday. I'm not that excited.
To be very clear, the show is both me and Tim. So, like, I can do the show solo. It is a little less fun without Tim. So I did weigh the consequence of not doing a show today. And I was legitimately thinking, no, maybe I won't do a show. Maybe I'll do one tomorrow. And then you messaged me like, hey, when are you going on? And I go, now? Do I have to? And I thought about it and I said, I'm committed to doing it. I do have plans a little bit later tonight, but you're right, Egg. Thank you for pressing on. Thank you for making sure that the people have their Friday installment of The Bullpen. But I got to tell you, and I don't know how this affects your life, but this travel back and forth for 5 weeks in a row, before that 2 other weeks, the media week and the draft week, how has this impacted your life when you've been traveling as much as I have been, sir?
Okay, open kimono. I get up at 4 a.m. on the Wednesday of PGF Day, and then I try to get out the door by 4:40, just to try to beat the LA traffic because I'm about 40 minutes north of San Diego. So if I do that, I can get like a 4.5 hour drive there, and then it's just like so much work, and it's work we love. It's passion, but it takes your whole soul and your being. And then we, honestly, maybe we'll talk about this later, but like we've actually been getting done normally earlier, but the last week always has the goodbyes, and so, oh brother, we got done so late yesterday on Wednesday. So I get up at 4 a.m. after staying in a hotel adjacent to the location, and I drive back. And because I have to hit LA traffic, it takes at least 5 hours, and I go directly to work. It is so rough. It is so rough doing the schedule, but the thing is this: the week-long thing was easier for competitors to take a week off of work. It was easier for all of the production staff to take a week off of work. It was like a little summer camp thing, but it was impossible for the viewers. And so I can share enough of a little bit of anonymized information. TJ sent a very amazing text to a few of us that he's been, obviously he's been in MMA, etc. forever. And he has a guy that he's been, a friend with for a long time. This was no kidding, an event. Like every week, this was something you scheduled. And he actually had issues because I don't know when to go use the bathroom because it's that exciting and fun the whole time. And that was just man, that's what we want. So I don't know, Raph. I mean, just it's it's been a thing, and God bless our families for dealing with us um, doing this. But it's been just as we tell every member of the competitors that once you are a part of us, once you do a season, you're part of the fraternity. All the production staff that actually shows up, shows out, we have the passion, and everyone sees it. They know it, and we are part of what makes the PGF special.
You are right about that. I would like to point out all the nice things that you say are more logistic failures for me because 5 hours is too long to drive back home. I'm trying to make 3 hours, 40 minutes flat. And yesterday, I actually had to take a pee break. And, you have the dad gene. The dad gene can power through a lot of stuff. For
Good
me,
time. You make good time.
you got to make good time. Now, I don't have kids, but that is something I got from my dad, which is nope. Nope. We were going through it yesterday. I got to pull over. It's a gas thing. And also, I should pee. And that one break almost made it 3 hours and 50 minutes, but I made up for it on my way back over. And you better believe that I was angry when the last exit to my place here was closed off. And I go, you guys are costing me minutes. This is unacceptable. I am on track. Like, I pace myself like the best runners in long distance running. But having said that, thank you to all the families who have been very understanding. My wife included, your family, all of us. It's very difficult to do this, but I assure you, it is nice to be amongst other family when we go do these events because we kind of all recognize what each other is sacrificing. And then it's hard to be mad when you've got professionals like TJ who are very good at traveling and being a professional and always being there, offset by like the enthusiasm of Jason Anik. And when he walks in and he's the most enthusiastic, there's a part of me that's kind of like, I'm dead inside. So him having that energy is good for the team. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. It's just him being like, well, Raf, I got to tell you, this is the best day I've ever had. And I go, all right, shut up, Anik. Let me just brood in my bad mood of setting up this thing. And then he just starts being the best energy that we could possibly have. So we've got a good family there. We're very appreciative. We got one more big show to do, but we do need to get some initial thoughts. So I'm going to put us back on the clock here in a second. Before I do, we did have some comments. I'll come to here. The first one is, this is from Brian, my social media guy, who says, Raf, I'm in bed. What the fuck? So Brian's really just complaining that he has to do the extra homework of watching the clips that are happening now when he this could have been an email, I guess is what he's trying to say. Well, joke's on you. You have to do it. This is from Egg that says, my back hates this schedule. Well, Steven, if the airlines got you home in a reasonable amount of time, not your connecting 8th flight, it might have been a little bit easier on the bag. But I will tell you, the amount of sympathy I have when I make it home and I go, well, let's see, Egg's flying. And the entire time I'm driving, Steven is driving. He's flying? Yeah, he's flying. How long has he been flying for? Is this going on 8 hours now? It is not 8 hours back to where that man lives. Is he okay? So I had some feels for you, the dream. But this is what Willie thinks. And he says, Egg looks like a robot in Westworld, which is very funny. I said he looked like Danaher if he went on a daytime talk show and got a makeover. And then they like present him and they just go like, all right, come on out, John Danaher. And he just comes out and looks over and goes, this outfit is the worst outfit I have ever been put in. First of all, it's a little too tight. I'm not in a rash guard. And second, the jacket. It's reminiscent of when I watched Steven Seagal's Above the Law. And I said, I must go get a jacket of my own, like the protagonist in that story. Which, by the way, if I remember correctly, I don't know if it made it on air, but he 100% talked about Steven Seagal either before or during one of my interviews. And it is so etched in my core memories of what is happening in my life. when John Danaher is talking about Steven Seagal, and I go, I need to keep the straightest face possible of, yeah, for sure. This is a real thing that's happening. But nonetheless, very, very silly.
Just a quick
So,
reminder.
yes.
My kids try to like gaslight me. I do have hair. Hair does exist at the top of the noggin. Don't try to Danaher me like bald like my kids
Well,
do.
no, I mean, you have shaven it very close for reasons I'm sure are very evident.
On the
But
sides especially. Yes.
having said that, I know you are capable of hair, and the hair is good because some people do not have hair. So you're kind of like a fake bald person, which Larry David has gone on record as to say fake bald people make a choice, so don't group them all together. You're not one of them. But you do look very convincing with the short hair. It's just, why are the kids roasting you for not having hair, sir?
You don't have teenagers, man. You don't have teenagers.
No,
They
that's true.
They,
I don't.
They are anti-humans. I don't know. They're the worst beings possible. You give them enough hormones of the right type, and they like you start questioning like life choices and like I fed you and I changed your diapers and you're here because of me.
It might be that you're throwing that at them, that they might
No.
that
I
they
don't
attack
feel that.
first.
That's an internal. That's an internal like questioning life choices moment. Like
oh no, Brian, allow me to say this. This is a heavy sentence, sir. Bald stolen valor is something that I feel like will not go down in the history books very well here, sir. So just making sure we are being very
stolen
clear.
valor.
Yeah, he's saying that bald people, there's a respect, there's honor in that, and that somebody who's just trying to be a fake bald person is trying to get the glory of all the benefits of being bald.
Because I have some friends that would take those last two words like very seriously, and
that's what I'm saying. Is I'm like, Brian, those three words together
going on. Sorry,
it's okay. Here's the good news. There's going to be a podcast that outs Brian Peterson sometime soon about the use of the word stolen valor, like other people. So we will come back to that. Egg, your initial thoughts, because right now we went through some stuff this weekend. We did see the crowning of some champions, but that has larger implications for the top 8 as a whole. So what are we looking at going into the playoffs? And what are your initial thoughts from the season that we just ingested of 5 weeks and 150 matches worth of an action, sir?
Okay, so you just asked a lot.
Yep. I know. I'm giving you enough for 3 minutes. Go.
Okay, got it. So number one, holy crap. It went to the last match. The last match. We had 150 matches to figure out which team was the winner, and it went to the last match. You can't make that happen if you want to. It just happened. And here's another fun thing. If Sergio had gone that break within a minute and tied it, they would have been tied as to who the amount of wins. So the initial tiebreaker would have also been tied.
Wait,
how does that happen?
Hold on. What would we have done if that was the case? Because I presented that to, I'm sure you were presenting it to people, because everybody looked at me and I said, if he got it done within that first minute, it would have been 4 points, which would have been tied. And if you're telling me that they would have been tied on submissions as well. So what's the next tiebreaker? The fastest submission time?
I don't know, because like they'd asked me to like hey, that's the next thing, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll start figuring it out. Holy crap, they'd be tied, and it was past a minute by that time. So like, I don't know.
So with that, okay, would you have had to have been sequestered in the green room by yourself with nobody bugging you while we waited for you to go do a hand recount and looking them up one by one in the chads and saying like that was 2 minutes and 30 seconds for day one? that was 3 minutes and 45? Or do we just have to do like an EBI overtime? Is it a coin flip contest? Do we have them play Call of Duty to settle it? Because, Egg, do you understand the cluster that would have been if they did do the tie? And that everybody would have looked at each other with champagne in hand, like,
Brother, I like Steven is in the chat saying like, yeah, allegedly the next thing is total mat time, and I Brandon wanted me to keep track of that a long time ago. There's no way. I can't do that with everything else. Like that's a bridge too far. I can't do it.
But if you're not doing it, who's doing it? And then what would we have done? So you're telling me we would have just sat on our hands the whole time while you would go off and do some math over to the side? Is that what would have happened, Egg?
I can't. I'm not in charge. I just do my job. Okay. So like I don't think so. Here's an initial thought. Like I still probably need to look back and see if there's any like forfeits or or DQs, because I think those might be less valuable, perhaps. Each team, Nick, had 33. Well, actually, not because Twisters lost. They had 32, but the Team Dahmer had 33 submissions, and Twisters had 32. And again, that's amazing. So here's the thing: like overall, we had about 60% submission rate for all matches, period, in PGF. That's insanity. I mean, the 155ers, we knew they'd be exciting, but to get those submissions, that was magic. I mean, this season, you wanted my initial thoughts, but like this season was the best ever. Period.
I am willing to agree with you, even if I am actually more concerned now that we have uncovered a true problem, that if you don't know, I don't assume anybody knows. Because there were times when I was doing the graphics for the numbers that you're like, that's not right. And I go, okay. And I wanted to just be like, what is it? And yell across the screen, because
I know the numbers. I don't know the fourth ranking.
It's not the issue on you being the problem. It's that what ends up happening is when someone says a graphic isn't correct, we're on the same team of wanting the correct numbers. So it's just me of going, instead of going over to you and going, excuse me, Egg, sorry to interrupt, guys. Hi, RAF ESPARZA, executive producer and showrunner of the Bullpen. What are the numbers? So I can go back there. Like, I try to have a professional thing. So yes, I don't just scream over, Egg, what the fuck's the number? Yeah? Okay, I'll put it on. Instead, I go, what's the number? Did you say 14? Save. Done. And then sometimes it would update live. My favorite thing is when I knew something was wrong and somebody pressed the button before I could press it. And I'd look and I go, no, don't do that. No, don't overpress me. Or I press the button. I'd be like, hold on. And they go, that number is correct. Yeah. Oh, did that just change? Yep. Got it. Take that. But like all of us are wearing 12 hats. So I'm just thinking like what I have to do. I'm realizing you really do. If we are that close, we almost have to have a battle plan, a contingency plan that maybe we have you start kind of jotting some numbers down if we are that close the next time. Because for TV purposes, it was amazing. But there was a moment where Tim brought it up, and that's part of the reason we have some stats from you today, where he said, hey, one thing says one thing and another site says another thing. So Smooth Comp said it one way, and then the PGF website said it a different way. Now, we know your numbers are likely going to be very correct, but we started doing some math on our side and saying, he didn't get it wrong, but what if? And then would you have had to resign from the PGF in disgrace? Would you have had to like take the hat off and be like, howdy, ma'am. Sorry. I let y'all down on this one, so it's with great reticence. It's just so funny. The thought of you having to resign and then me being like, we don't accept your resignation because no one's going to do your job. Like, you're going to do the job again.
Brother, like in season 6, I wasn't supposed to keep Sassy anymore.
No.
I wasn't. It was like allegedly we had the staff that somebody was supposed to do that stuff. And I'm like, well, that's great. Who's going to do it? We don't know. Okay, well, I'm going to keep track of it still, and just in case.
I mean, I still write it down on a notepad. I would prefer to do it digitally, but we don't have enough space for me to even bring on a computer. So it's a lot of me just putting chicken scratch and then doing other stuff. I did ask you about the implications. So now we have 8 people advancing to the finals, the actual playoff here from the season, just based off of what we've seen. What do you think we can expect from this group of 8 for the playoffs? And is there any way somebody gets injured? What do we do? Do we go to 9th? And how does that disrupt anything that we think we already know?
Okay, just first of all, if anyone gets injured, they're a moron. Right? They just went through 5 weeks of the gauntlet of the PGF, and you're gonna like go do some naga or some crap and get injured. Come on, guys. Seriously, be professionals. I mean, as you said earlier, it's the first word of the PGF. Man, I'm excited because Jet Thompson versus Dom Lobo, Warren versus 8 New Hope Kings. They're teammates. That's exciting. Mejia versus Fajea. Here's the funny thing. One second. All right.
Hold on. Let me just take this
Sorry,
off
guys.
you for a second. Hold on. Let me just give you a second. I think there's no funnier thing than Egg having to be a dad on camera at the exact same time and turning this into an overdub movie for a split second. Like, if he has to do that again and he mutes himself, I'm 100% just going to talk for him with the cut up on him. But go right ahead, Egg.
I apologize.
You're fine.
But,
No one cares. It's fine.
I still have 2 teenagers in the house. I mean, one's a man child bigger than me playing college football, but the last 2 are still here with hormones. So, I mean, most interesting perhaps maybe Christos versus Landon. I mean, the big slime versus the program. They were like lockstep the whole way, but they're first up against each other. That's amazing. I mean, so many stories. Rayfield, I mean, came in, and some of us knew about him, but dang, going full Rodman Rayfield. Man, he's been so amazing, so exciting. The first 7-pointer of the PGF this season. You know, and here's a funny thing, because like Mejia versus Fajea, Mejia came up to the commentary booth like, "Hey man, appreciate it. Wish could have done better on those last matches or whatever." Like, he's the dominator. He's amazing. Like, and I told him, "Man, I'm so excited about your match versus Hoffa. That should be just a banger." He's like, "Nah, we'll see." Woo! I mean, Dominator feeling the thing. Again, Rayfield versus Olivo. Man, 2 of the biggest guys in the season. I mean, Olivo has been like just chill as can be. What a foil versus like Rayfield, just like the Robin-esque experience, just the intensity and the excitement that he brings versus Olivo. I mean, Olivo brings the excitement too. I think Jason said it, like the top 8, man, you don't have a bad match. It's so amazing.
Yeah. I can tell you that my initial thoughts from all this are, is that the actual way we see it? Like, do we for sure see it 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7? Do they change? Do they pull out lottery cards? Because I think that's how they've always done it. But I did have a moment of pause where I was doing the same thing you did, where I go, oh, could they not be doing it that way?
As far as I know, I think Brandon said as much on the broadcast. It is just like, it is what it is.
Yep. I mean, again, you mentioned and previewing some of those things. Pretty dope, dude. Like, I really do feel like seeing Christos and Landon is a perfect extension of their storyline. Being so behind each other, no matter what happened, no matter how frustrated or happy or sad or intense they got, they were always good with each other. Then Mejia trying to downplay this match with Hoffa, it's like, sure, Mejia, we didn't see you in danger at all in this tournament, so you are carrying yourself high. And yes, we did see Hoffa get submitted a couple times. Was it just once? Maybe just once. But Hoffa getting submitted showed, yeah, he's human for sure. So there is a path to beating him. But that didn't mean the matches where he was in weren't intense or not exciting. That's why he had so many money bags. So he might be downplaying it, like, oh, I see the path to winning. No big deal. That still might be a heavy thing for him to have to do. So looking past that, as the athlete needs to do, and thinking about them being on that podium and visualizing themselves and saying, like, no one's going to stop me. The rest of us know that match sounds like a hell of a lot of fun. And you mentioned this. Who is Derek potentially taking on here?
Chris Olivo.
Okay. Now that's a fun match too, because now you've got two guys who, by all intents and purposes, should not be in the 155 division.
Oh, yeah.
And now you've got two people who, if they were on opposite sides, they could probably weight bully some people and get away with it and do what they need to do. So that is a great match. And that leaves us with one last match. What is that match?
What, Jet versus Lobo?
Yep. And that is an intense moment because Jet has been this guy who is regained all of his swagger. And people wondered, oh, is Jet Thompson good? What are his points? No, he still ended up number one on the points board. So yeah, those couple DQs that happened at the very beginning, they only happened because he was dominating his competition. He had a bad bounce where he couldn't go against somebody because they didn't have enough people. So we kept having all these kind of weird moments, but never looking at him like, damn, he's had a bad match or he's performed bad. He's been consistent. And it just goes to show consistency will pay off in the long term. So Jet getting this great moment and Dom being this great underdog where it looked like for a split second, we asked who was going to be the bubble boy. And Tim got it right on the money when he said Lobo, because Lobo snuck right in there. He had great matches, got some kills at very pivotal times. And it was close because Matt Mash was giving everything he could to try and make that. Anthony Molina Valdez was right in the running, had a great beginning of the tournament. Toward the end, wasn't scoring enough points to keep him in that consideration. And then you had some people who realized it was the last day, and Sergio giving it a run for the money. Like all these guys, even Mike John having to make the choice, I'm going to go for the team. So all these different scenarios played out so well that we've got some great narratives, I think, coming up. And we do have Nick Saff who's saying, Mejia wins the whole thing. Egg, before we move on, what do you think the odds are that Mejia wins the whole thing?
45%.
45. Okay.
I mean, I give him almost even 50-50. The Dominator came in, but like, man, Rayfield's exciting as can be. And Jet's still there. I mean, 45 might be too generous. However, just per the moniker, the Dominator has been dominating. I mean, he finds a way. I mean, Jet has been the dominator of the back control the whole season, but Dom doesn't just get back control; he also gets the finishes at a higher percentage. I mean, Jet obviously had a long string of RNCs towards the end. Man, Mejia, I'm not betting against Mejia. Period. But I mean, yeah, I know. It's tough because hey, Jason Anik got it right. This top 8 is legit. The whole crew,
Yeah.
top to bottom, anyone could do it. But I'll give the Dominators props. I give them 45%. That's that in any like 8-person tournament bracket. That's being very generous.
Just saying. The Dream coming in with a big whoa statement. I think it's because he started thinking about what a percentage, that piece of the pie you gave the Dominator, which only leaves a certain amount for a Jet Thompson. And when there's 6 other people on the board, that's a big chunk that you did give him. So you were starting to rethink that number. We can always come back to it a little bit later. But I do want to say this. The thing to consider is Jet Thompson has been dominant, but now we're in a place where you don't have to win regulation. You can win in overtime. His back control among the best, but if he's off, and an off night for Jet Thompson doesn't mean you lose because you're worse. It means you're off because of time. It can happen. So it's not a foregone conclusion. It's going to be interesting to see, and maybe Dom has a good night. Maybe Chris starts overperforming. Maybe Christos, the game himself, figures out a way to win, or Landon just continues to go after people's legs and chops his way on over. There's a lot of different scenarios that play out here, and it's still at the point now, Egg, where we're talking about this and we're starting to think, I think I'm seeing how this is playing out. I think I see a couple different scenarios, and there's still the Derek Rayfield equation, where you think he's a big problem for people.
So here's the fun thing, though, is that Jet is number 1, Mejia is number 2, so they're on opposite sides of the bracket. Mm-hmm. Whereas Rayfield, number 3, he's on Jet's side.
So it could be that we see in the semis a Jet versus Rayfield match,
which kind of gives you that 45%. Because those two guys can't, you
don't need to justify me the 45%. I just know the real gift that you gave the rest of us was you have to sit with 45% for the rest of the day, because we didn't say you have to pick that number. That's going to be you thinking about it at brunch. You're going to pick up on a Sunday a nice little waffle. You're going to be like, is it 40? Might be closer to 40. More syrup? I don't know. Maybe. I mean,
no syrup. I'm cooking steak and eggs at home. I'm not getting a little cafe bodega steak and eggs tomorrow. I'm cooking my own.
I wanted to give you a nice night out, a nice place to go. Why don't we do this? Why don't we look at some of the highlights from this week? So I pulled up some of the best of, and I want to give Egg you an opportunity to take us through, because you were on commentary, but a lot of times you have to do work that tells the people what they can. So I thought what I would do. You saw the other one. I don't want to do that one again, because we've knocked that one out of the park.
It's so good.
It is so good.
So good.
These are some clips from the last week, but I'm going to go ahead and bring this up, and I'm going to pull up the clip that happened from this week. And I'd love for you to just take me through your initial thoughts on these 5 submissions, the top 5 submissions from week number 5, sir. This is the Sergio Ardila and Josue.
Oh, yeah.
Match.
So the big thing there was that, like, we talked about, like, every free agent has kind of knocking the rust off hangover situation where it becomes real. Like, oh, I've seen the PGF. Yeah, it's great. Oh, crap. The PGF's a thing. And Sergio had that a little bit his first time. But he took out, Josue, pardon me, because I'm not great at, Portuguese. But a thing that surprised me about Sergio, he's a collegiate All-American wrestler, and it seemed like he sat every time, but he definitely put the points on the board here, because that was the mission. The mission was points on the board. Got the leg lock, sweet.
I think one thing to consider for that is also the fact that he recognized the more time he's going to wrestle, the less time he has to maybe get the submission. So it's might as well just get straight to it. But yes, there was some discussion as well on points. in terms of not points. I'm sorry. There were discussions on time for stall calls and all that sort of stuff. So those are definitely part of
Yeah.
the factors that I think go into it. But why don't we go to this next submission highlight? This, sir, coming up right here is going to be Derek Rayfield getting it done very quickly, sir.
Is that Jet
That's Jet
versus
and that's
Whacker?
Mike Wacker.
Yeah. I mean, Jet, we've always known has had the Oki lock. I mean, he finished at least two, if not three, different like highly competitive, like world level black belts with Aoki locks in PGF season 6, and it seemed like about starting week 3 to week 4, he became the you know Jet of old, and that's his play right there. He loves pulling guard. He gets the ankle, and I have his instructional on BJJ Fanatics about the Aoki lock and ankle locks. I'm not saying I can do it, but I bought it, and you probably should too because he's just deadly. Whacker, I mean, in 2009 Grappler's Quest, he took out Ryan Hall, which again, as the commission said, everyone should take notice of. 2021 CJJ semifinalist. He's legit, the leader of Black Hole Jiu Jitsu, Matt Mash's coach, but the kid, Jet, a beast, period.
Let's move now to the next highlight, which is Matt Mash versus Dom Lobo.
And I said, Mash, he was like the first person out. Dom Lobo was on the bubble, and here he is. He's making it happen. If Hafa Fahea was not the musty TV guy he is, Matt Mash would have been the star of the PGF because he brings that same mentality, like constantly going here. But obviously, he gets Dom Lobo, and it's such a huge thing because at that point in time, with that break, he had the person versus person, tiebreaker. They were tied, and Mash also had more submissions, and so he found his way into the playoffs. Here we have, I don't want to use his dang nickname because that seems dangerous to me. But DeGraff, the latest free agent, questionable situation with New Wave, bringing another guy there against Zach Schneider, and got the Tarico Plaza, which was amazing. Serious. I felt bad because Zach was such an amazing family man and veteran and just a great dude. I loved having his kids there during some of the interviews, and that was amazing. But DeGraff came in, and man, he was the free agent they needed. He didn't have any hangover and no rust. He came in and put points on the board. And when it came to the very end, he said, "No points on me, sir."
Yeah, I mean, Zach is no slouch. I didn't
Oh
know
no,
if I didn't know if Andrew had this fully on. I thought Zach had a shot of getting out of it, but that just goes to show you how tight that had to be. Because even in this transition where you think, okay, him falling back is not a great look, but even in this moment, Egg, I was astounded because I thought, okay, if he gets to his knees, he's got a shot. But that arm wasn't going to move anywhere. Like it was stuck. And Andrew did
yeah,
a great job of retaining it. And that leg over that
the
arm.
leg. The Trigo Plata. Once you get the Trigo Plata going on, they're done. Period. I mean, you're high belt than me, but still, I mean, like I love a Trigo Plata.
Love it.
Once you get that, it's over.
And I mean, fair play to him, but we do love us some Zach Schneider. Talk to us now about this match between Derek Rayfield and John Chandler.
John Chandler, he is pure Americana, man. He'll bang heads with anyone. Yeah. Some guys said he was the golden retriever, always positive, just like super upbeat. Just love seeing his storyline. But Rayfield is freaking Rodman. It's like, I don't care. I got to kill you. And this is like his anaconda with the legs over top. I'd actually put in my like player info sheets. He said that a number of times. He just gets that in there, uses the legs to get extra leverage, and then he has a little like a little bit of show. But I'm like, man, I got so many points, I can't do it on one hand. I have to use the second hand. Oh, what happened?
I have to
No,
be
he's
honest, that to me was really the highlight. Like, the submission's all right. This was really the moment. Like, this is the replay that I would have done.
yeah.
Even robbing us of that a second time here. Look, just all of its glory. Look at this wonderfulness. The way that Rodman just delights
Huh.
us with,
It's
like,
like,
I have fingers and they would. Oh my God, I can count with these things. Good Lord, who knew that's what digits do? Love that. And you know what? Not to discount anything else, he's definitely a very good grappler. This showed me the way that Derek has turned into an entertainer as well. So I've appreciated that because
yes.
it's unquestionable that he's good at jiu-jitsu. But to be a good performer is a very high task. And I think that Derek very much stepped into his own more as a performer than even as a grappler, because those in the know that dude is pretty good. So let's return to the board now. We'll advance it from PGF and replay to some updates outside of the world of PGF. But don't worry, friends, we will return to it. Let's go to this, the CJI updates. One of the things I wanted to bring up to you, Egg, is the fact that Craig was alluding on Reddit to the fact that they are likely going to lose $800K, $800,000 for CJI 2. And part of that is because they've turned down major deals with big networks because they want to try and keep it free and accessible to all. After he said that, there was a post this week that said, should we sell out? Meaning, I think they're entertaining some offers because they thought they would get more money from the sales. Right now, they said 51,000 is not a lot of tickets sold, which if you ask me for jiu-jitsu, that's a lot of tickets that have been sold. So it's a managing of expectations and streaming deals and opportunities and money on the table. With all that information, what are your initial responses to all of that?
Well, first, I think they intentionally, obviously, they went after ADCC with number one. So they already had people that were willing to shell out a lot of money for ADCC tickets, and then a number of those people I know also shelled out money for CGI tickets. I think IBJJF Worlds is at the same time,
Yeah.
but it's not the same cachet of ADCC. So maybe those guys are like, we prefer the gi, yay, and just stay there. I'll tell you right now. Luckily, last season I was going to come help you guys out regardless, but I also happened to win Alex Winling's giveaway, and so that's why I went to CJI. So I made the drive. Now they're asking like 300 plus for a ticket. Like, I've asked a lot from my family. No, and that's kind of the thing. Like, when you start putting up that premium price, you need to make sure that you can attract those people. And again, I think they had more opportunity when the ADCC was at the same place. That said, if they have the funding, okay, lose the money if you want the cachet and the added brand recognition. Okay, fine. I mean, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I think an additional factor that people have not taken into consideration that much is in this economy, no.
Yeah.
I think people have a certain amount of disposable income. And if they are making that journey to that IBJJF weekend, that con that they have, I think they are specifically going for that. And the disposable cash becomes way more yikes and evaporates because think of how much money you have to spend to go to that thing, period. Hotel, car rentals, food. Vegas
Flights.
is definitely cheaper right now, but that doesn't mean it's cheap. So everybody looking for deals around the same time. I think people are saying, you mentioned this. Yes, I looked at some of those prices, $350. But if you think about it, it's $350 for 2 days, which actually is not the worst price ticket, but it does look like they were trying to charge more for it. And I see that's where they've been struggling on the sales because most of their balcony tickets and all their like to get in the door prices have been right on the money. But I will say this. I cannot emphasize this enough. 5,100 tickets is not nothing in jiu-jitsu. Nobody's doing those numbers. So really, for me, Craig's insistence on keeping this free to all is the bigger problem. Because if there's seven figures on the table, they have the right demos. They need to sell that. And I think that it rises all tides. I know it's a small inconvenience. Some of you guys will pirate it anyway. But I really do feel like we've seen what the UFC could sell for. And while we are not in that league, with something with an attractive demo, it is worthwhile to at least say once a year we do this show and that's how you pay for it. Because I don't know that we remedy the problem if we just keep doing patchwork. I think if we can up our value, other people can charge more for their things and we can get TV distribution because we are an all year sport. Other things have a certain window, and that is maybe the one limitation we have for the PGF right now. But I tell you this, it is going fast. They literally sold their third team. So if you do that math, maybe 3 teams isn't the only amount of teams that they're going to sell. Just saying. So those PGF travel weeks might become a little bit bigger. I guess what I'm trying to point out to people is, Craig, if you're listening, make the distribution deal. If someone has even floated a 6-figure deal, a high 6-figure deal, you have offset your costs. I know it's fuck it, I'll just incur the costs. But it is a not long-term business model, and maybe you're not here to oversee it, but somebody else should be because it's got attention, it's the right format, and I can guarantee even if it is awkward, it will get the attention it deserves. I really do feel like this is one of the best things that we've had in a minute. And they had teased going back to the straight up 2-division tournament. I think we owe it to try and do it again. That's just my opinion on that.
But Raph, just to counterpoint just a bit, I mean, with this new format, with the team format, maybe it's worth seeing how the Gen Pop writ large reacts to it, but by giving them the most exposure it could have to see which one the masses truly appreciate more.
I don't disagree with that at all. I just feel like it has the marketability just from Craig's silly videos, 11 million views from those things on just one distribution channel. Those are different sports numbers. Like, it just tells me you have to be able to find the right partner. And maybe it's not Paramount Plus because they don't pay money right now. I'm just going to be real honest. I think they spent too much. But ESPN's doing deals. Everybody's doing a deal because they like sports. It's just a matter of finding that right partner. And maybe we don't have it, but those numbers help us to get it. So if I'm Craig, at the very least, if I'm thinking about the future, think about some way to make that work. Why don't we move on to our next one, which is this of No Kings. It was announced that UFC BJJ will likely not feature Gordon Ryan, not just because deals didn't go through, but Claudia, while in an interview, seemed to allege that people who have not utilized steroids are the focus. So she's saying somebody like Gordon, who has been very forthcoming and admitted that he has used steroids, would not likely be a person on that. So with that in mind, what are your initial reactions? Because doesn't that seem to cut off a fair amount of the people in our sport, Egg?
Raph, that's a crutch. They don't want somebody that's bigger than them. Period. That's what it is. Gordon Ryan is the king. Period. And they don't want to bring in somebody that could have more control than they would of the narrative. I got it. What Willie thinks. I mean, he's got the issues with the stomach, etc. But peak Ryan, Gordon Ryan, he's the man. And he can call the shots. And so, if you want to have the control over the industry like the UFC does, because that's monopolies want to do that. You don't want to give the avenue of approach of allowing him to be in there. And so by saying they want to be, have no steroids, etc., that's a convenient out for them. Maybe that's a cynical approach to it. If you want to take it the more altruistic approach, maybe they want to make the sport cleaner. But realistically, it's not going to be. I mean, there's plenty of stories out there about how people find ways to cycle on and off so they can still pass the test for USADA, etc. And now the UFC is like off of USADA. Can you really say that? It's about control, Raf. Period.
Well, let's put it this way. It's also about money on return because I think they've already gotten what they can get from Gordon in terms of UFC exposure. I don't know that he adds as much value because you can't match him up properly. I think you could probably invest in new talent and do it. He could say on his massive following, I'm going to be on this event and that I'm going to be involved. But the most recent exposure he had on there was doing commentary. So I think you're overpaying for a commentator just for people to know there's an event happening. I think you gain more exposure by just putting the event on YouTube. And I think that's the stronger strategy than even the amount of viewers that would come behind a paywall just to watch him. So, yeah, I would agree. In part, it is control. It's an interesting strategy because it shows that maybe Mikey is in their ear and that's something that's very important to him and that he has control in that too. So, like, it works multiple ways on who their franchise is. But how long can you keep that going when we know that at one point you were trying to do business with Craig Jones, who also has been very forthcoming with his stacks? So I guess what I'm saying to you is setting this precedent is going to be an interesting thing. And I wonder if it comes back and they maybe have to walk it back or they get somebody else who comes in. Because right now you're also seeing somebody like Amika Galvo who's saying, well, I mean, I hate that kids will think that I did steroids, even though a test says something. Is he out of that discussion? Or do we have to pull a John Jones and be like, no, define
This
steroids?
is picograms, man.
Picograms are different than steroids. Very different. What are you talking about? They're different.
What's a pico anyway?
It's a pico, indeed. So I felt like that was at least something worth discussing. Why don't we go to this? Demetrius Johnson, God bless him, took the approach of saying last week after a heavy grappling based event that maybe was not the best fight in the world, but for one grappler did result in a championship in the UFC. He did mention this and he did say, if you don't like this, don't watch the UFC. I have a certain take on this. I'll be happy to get your take on it, but my thoughts are as follows. In the year of our Lord 2025, I have to tell you, being called a casual is not an insult anymore. Here's why. I don't even watch every card anymore. Sometimes I don't even see the things. I ingest a lot of combat sports. In this day and age, when we've talked about different things, going to different streaming platforms, and even still ordering it and having to keep up with these ridiculously low common denominator cards, being a casual is not even an offensive thing. So Demetrius Johnson trying to make this appeal to the core audience of the UFC over the years, I'm not even sure they're all there. I think we have a very different demo than we did 10 years ago, and in some ways that's better, and in other ways, god-awful. But being called a casual now, not the same when you were in the Conor McGregor era. Like, that was a fun way to tell people that. Now, if you look at my viewing habits, I might be a casual, but the difference is I was the demo, and a lot of us helped to get this base so that it would become a big thing. But Demetrius Johnson going on this crusade just made me think, oh, this poor dude. This poor goat just having to go out there and try and talk to these kids and be like, hey guys, but like MMA for real, not for bad. Enjoy the grappling. It's part of it too. It's like, bro, they're just going to complain. You just need to stay strong and say, here's why you should do grappling and here's why it's important. And just keep leading that good life. Because trying to tell them, no, you're wrong for this group of people, I don't know that you're going to get any better results. And more importantly, maybe this is the way to go. I don't know if you think this too, Egg, but maybe, and I'm starting to see him do this a little bit when I saw him with the like backyard squabbles people or some of these like backyard fighters. You know how they do those one ideology versus 20 videos? Maybe we just have
Ah,
Demetrius Johnson just train with 20 people. Like we just sit him down and then all he can do is grapple with them because it's essentially the same thing at this point. They used to call it like a bully beatdown, but now literally that's the only way people ingest politics is they're like, well, I'm going to watch this one ideology go against 20 other people who are very different than them. I'm like, I don't really want to watch that. But if Demetrius Johnson takes on some people who are going, you're a casual, I'd be like, oh, show me the flying arm bars that happen here. Let me see every which way that this dude beats him up because I just felt so bad for him in a way where I go, I think this is a losing argument, even though he's right.
okay. So, one, Demetrius Johnson versus 20 randos that are casuals. Yeah, sign me up. I'll take that. That'd be fun. Just because we love dunks. I mean, the old school PGF loves some dunks. We had white belts in there, some blue belts in there. We love the dunks. I'll take some dunks from Demetrius. As far as like preaching Demetrius, no, that's not no. It's not how you. That's not marketing. I mean, here's a fun little thought. The Marine Corps says you don't have what it takes to be a Marine. So yeah, you're gonna get a certain percentage of the population, like 0.5% of the population. Like what? No, I have what it takes. I'm jump on in. Demetrius, we're past that. We are past calling people casuals to challenge them to be more fans. We want the casuals. That's the answer. That's how we get bigger. That's how the PGF was partially designed. It's like we want people. I want my mother-in-law to be excited about a freaking grappling match or an MMA match if I'm UFC because that's what I care about. I want those people to care. Who watches the NFL and has fantasy football teams? Not people that play the NFL, and only a portion of them played high school football. We want the fans that are just having fun. Hey, I'm sorry, I love grappling, and good grappling is control and is somewhat boring because you're smashing people. But if you want fans, if you want excitement, if you want entertainment, because guess what, brother? You're in the entertainment business. So entertain and
Well,
accept the fact that people want to be entertained. Period.
thank you. Thank you, Egg, for that. Why don't we move on? I think we've yelled at this poor goat too. I just felt bad for him. I just saw him do it because he started his video. He's just all like playing it up, just being like, guys, and I looked at him and I go, you know what? Maybe I was like that 10 years ago too, but I feel like I've settled into a good place of, yeah, I'd love for you guys to watch. If you don't want to watch grappling, there's going to be a new grappler born sometime that is going to dig this product. I think the more exposure they get to it, the more they're going to like it. I really do firmly believe that. It's just a matter of, yeah, exciting things like PGF, big events like Craig Jones Invitational, our Olympics, like the ADCC, IBJJF,
Yes.
which Nick did mention. Jiu-Jitsu Con has 12,500 competitors over 6 events that weekend. That's been a big thing where people have said the gi's dead. Oh no. It's not that it's dead. It's just I think a lot of us go, why? Why are you there? And is that the real cross demo that you get that would want to go see the Craig Jones Invitational? And another thing to consider, maybe you just can't predict what the walk-in value is going to be, but I think you're going to get some walk-ins from that. I think
Yeah.
because they're out there, you just can't count on that, and maybe that's not the same price that you thought you would be getting. But I think they will do just fine. 5,100 is a good number, and you can show me other organizations that are doing more than 5,100 for their businesses for jiu-jitsu, and I'd be hard-pressed to say anything. So let's do this. We're now going to move to our Next topic, which is Fight Pass. I was talking with Egg a little bit off air because this is one that just broke out today. This is, according to reports, ESPN is in active talks to acquire UFC Fight Pass. Multiple sources confirm the plan is to fold the archive and select live content into ESPN's new direct-to-consumer app. Discussions are also advanced but not finalized, with ESPN also eyeing the WWE Vault that is currently on Peacock. That comes compliments of Blake Axe Avion, and I'm astounded they would find more ways to make money off of lots of things that people watch. Egg, what is your initial reaction to ESPN possibly gobbling up the historical, I don't even know what to call it, out of date? I can't believe I still have this app, but I'm trying to support Polaris and EBI. I think I pay $9.99 a month, being gobbled up by the ESPN direct-to-consumer app.
Well, so partially, I'm admittedly confused. I got a 20-pound brand, got a 5 degrees. The ESPN direct-to-consumer app, that's not ESPN Plus.
No.
That's not ESPN Plus? And so that's like, because
Wait
I already
for that,
paid.
because ESPN Plus does that in addition to what you should have, which is ESPN cable. So if you make those things happen, ESPN is the plus, thus plus. So you don't necessarily get everything that would air on ESPN, the channel. Even though you get a lot of it, sometimes you don't get all of it. This is where it's confusing. I've never had this problem because I also have cable, but you told me you cut the cord. So has there ever been an ESPN thing you try to find on ESPN Plus and somebody says you got to watch this on ESPN and you're looking at ESPN Plus and it's not there? Has that ever happened to you, or is it just all the programming is fit perfectly for you?
I think most of it has been on ESPN Plus.
Just so sorry. What Willie thinks is please no. And I think he's getting ahead of us, but go ahead, Egg.
This is too much. I mean, like I already said, because like I have to research all the athletes. I have the UFC Fight Pass. I have ESPN Plus. I have Enigma. I have Flow Grappling. I have like every freaking possible subscription there is. No Moss. Holy crap! Stop. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if UFC Fight Pass was folded into ESPN Plus, and so it's, instead of paying the extra $10 a month I pay for UFC Fight Pass, I just pay the same for ESPN Plus. I guess sure, okay, fine. But man, I cut the cable long ago because I thought I'd save money. I just have like 20 plus subscriptions now. I don't think I'm saving any money.
No, probably not. And you know what? I always think it's just going to continue to get worse. So I really think you're going to have to make some bold choices. But yes, to be a UFC fan, it looks like you may not be cutting that ESPN Plus package. And if you, I mean, I'm more concerned about your Polaris and your Fury Grappling and your other properties that were EBI, Combat Jiu-Jitsu, that
number one, number two for me,
were successful ventures for Fight Pass and really compelled me to keep Fight Pass that whole time. I felt 100%. Like I could have cut that, especially once they went to ESPN Plus and they started having events there. I just thought like I would cancel it, but now I don't even need the library because a lot of the library finds itself onto ESPN Plus that is current. So they don't really lose the pay-per-views. They stay on there for a while. And I thought, man, maybe I should cut the UFC Fight Pass. And then I didn't want to do that to the grappling side. I said, nah, I still want to show up, be somebody who's supporting grappling, trying to give that there. And I don't know. I don't know if they get gobbled up or they have to find new distribution. If you're Flow, are you looking at this very carefully and saying like, no, please don't. That'd be great for us. Or are you looking at it like we don't have the money to acquire some of these things? So there's all that's going to come in. Egg, I do want to take us to some match of the weeks. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put us together And I'm going to go over some match footage. Now, you called, I'm not going to do this one, despite how much it makes you giggle. I am going to pull up the matches that you requested. So this is Derek Rayfield versus Hoffa. Why don't you take us through why this was your match of the week, sir?
I mean, the first impression is like Derek Rayfield is massive for this weight class. I mean, in the PGF, it's known that you only have to weigh in once. He actually weighed in week 1 because he was a free agent. He came in week 2. Obviously, he is huge. His 2 times he got shut down in the CJJ Worlds was because he ran into Ryan Aitken, our season 7 205 champion. Hafa Fahera is one of the. I think he's the smallest guy in this season. But he's like, man, he's Bruce Lee, man. He's like, he flows like water. And Rayfield tries to big brother him, and he just flowed. I mean, the fact that he had him, in this Anaconda attempt or Darce, pardon me, I'm forgetting which one it was, a couple times was pretty huge. But they kept flowing, and with Rayfield, man, he's the man.
Hold on. Did he just wave at the camera here?
Yes. So, and that was actually kind of funny. I noticed this.
Oh, he's pointing no at the camera. Gotcha.
Yeah. He's done this many times, and at that point in time, I was like so scared. Like, oh crap, did he just jinx himself? Because it looked for a second like he might have just jinxed himself. Because Hoffa loves doing that. Like, oh, they got his ankle. No. You got my arm. No. Like, that's a whole lot of man that's got your arm, brother. He about to break it. No. And he was right.
I just don't want this to happen where, when they put up that famous quotation, what are you going to do? Stab me? Stabbing victim. Like, that's what I don't want.
Yes.
Because when I see something like this, my brain goes to comic incongruity and thinking like, uh-oh, that's not going to be fun to watch. I don't want to see him lose like that. I want to see him lose because he just wasn't as good that day, not because he was showing off. And yes, that is part of the appeal. Like, that is part of why he's compelling to watch, is you have those moments that oscillate between the two.
That was 100% my heart and my thoughts as I was saying, like, oh no. But continue, because it was back and forth the whole time. That's what made this match. Is that he somehow found a way. I think he stepped over his back twice because Rafael, kept following him. Eventually, we'll see. Oh, I'm going to skip ahead. So he goes up the leg. That's fine. You're not going to break his leg. It's almost impossible. I mean, Christos did it because he's a G. But, here's the thing. At one point in time, Hoffa had Rayfield and Anaconda. That was legit. Rayfield had Hoffa in a reverse triangle that his face was like beet red, but he somehow found a way. This is back and forth. They had so much respect after each other afterwards. The little man getting the respect from Rodman. I mean, I think they got 4 different money bags, the most money bags of any match. Go ahead.
This is the first time we've ever had quad money bags, correct?
100%. I mean, okay. So Rayfield had an insane day. I mean, he had the first 7-pointer of the day. He was part of the first, quad money bag match. I mean, Nick Soff is in the chat, and man, hats off to you, sir. I mean, legit, your match versus Hoffa was one of the best in PGF history. This is probably better. This is probably one of the best ever.
Well, I would say that was your pick for match of the week. I have a different pick for match of the week, and for a very different reason. Unquestionably, that is a 4 money bagger. Like, it is a legendary match, one of our best displays at the PGF. My pick for match of the week is this. If you know that you are on the brink of extinction, and you know that there's a possibility you can maybe get those points, but maybe they're just not happening, and maybe you're a little frustrated by that, but you want to make a statement, then you, my friend, need to go out like Matt Mash. Matt Mash went on a kamikaze, I'm just going to go balls to the wall last day. And I have to give him his respect, while at the same time noting that Christos is the game. He knows how to play it. He was not getting stall calls, and for good reason, because he would make small adjustments. But there were some people in the audience, I'll let you believe who they are. It's not hard to imagine who they would be. But they were saying, why aren't there stall calls? And in this particular case, just look at the aggressive way that Matt Mash was just putting it on Christos. And yes, Christos here looked like he might have lost a fight, but that man's going to the playoffs. And in this particular case, you can make the argument that Matt Mash, with all of these aggressive knees to the face, the covering in the mouth, I just thought maybe he didn't advance. But there was no loss in the stock for Matt Mash this weekend. There was no loss in the respect that we have for him, the appreciation that we have. Because just look at the violence this dude was going with here. And just tell me that this dude didn't deserve to be in that top 8. Because at the very least, points-wise, he didn't make it. But exciting-wise, great return on investment. Other organizations should be giving him super fights like whoa. And I wouldn't be surprised, because I know Christos is down and game for this sort of stuff. This is a match you want to see again. Because I bet you Christos probably wants to get one back on him. Maybe they're just different sizes, and that's not necessarily a big fight in terms of you have to see it. But look at Matt Mash in this match and tell me that this dude wasn't thinking multiple times during this match that he wished it was a combat jiu-jitsu match. Literally, the look on his face was, if I could slap from here, I would have won. Of course, that's not the rules. But I think the larger lesson is not to take away like, damn, that's all he did. It was if I'm going out, I want people to respect my jiu-jitsu. And I definitely observed it. I sent him a note, just told him exactly what I'm pretty much saying here, which is, head up high, man. You crushed it. You made a great use of your opportunity. And I think you're going to have people very invested in what your next step is. So big props and congratulations to Matt Mash on an excellent PGF run. But of course he will not advance. Christos will advance. And I wonder if this performance will make Christos all the spicier when he comes back at it. So there's a lot of implications on this. I just want to get back to our board here for just a second before we close things up and give a couple comments their due. But as we move over to gallery right now, before we close up, this comes from CPT Tetris, and it says, "What's up, guys? Thanks for all of your hard work with the PGF." Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. We definitely enjoyed our season. It was incredible. It was super fun. It was intense. It's still not over, so it's kind of hard for me to look at it in the rear view when I have a calendar and a hotel reservation already telling me that I'll be back there sooner than I think I am. So there is all of that. But yeah, I mean, we had some great moments throughout the season, and we thank you guys for acknowledging our hard work. Egg here, been killing it with the stats from day one, and now has such a venue. And dude, the graphics, not for nothing, those Bubble Watch graphics, those are pretty good. I like those. I think simple and clean. I think you did that very well. And it says, I'm looking forward to the playoffs as well. 3 more weeks. Jeez. No. 3 weeks are good.
No, not even
Like
close
that.
to 3 weeks, man.
It's definitely closer than that, but I can use the time. So I'm very pleased it's a little bit away. So, Egg,
Brother.
why don't we close with this, sir? I'm going to put the camera on you. I'm going to let you tell people where they can follow you, because I'm sure there's going to be some upcoming analysis for the playoffs. Tell people where they can follow you as well on your social media and where they can see you, sir.
All right, folks, I appreciate all y'all supporting the PGF. I am the #1 super fan from day one, from season 1. I used to be you. I was on the chat, and now I am here, part of it. So if you want to see my analysis, eggheadwarrior.com, eggheadwarrior.com. You can follow me on Instagram, eggheadwarrior, or egghead jiu-jitsu. I try to do both. Here's the thing. It's all about you, period. The passion we have, We care about you, the fans, and that's what it's all about. And thank you so much. And just since I have a moment, Matt Mash, brother, I am such a fan, no question. Um, Man, you're not, Officer Grimy. You're Captain Grimy after that match. I loved it as an old wrestler. Man, all the cross faces, man, it was money. I loved it. So good stuff, brother. And hey, to all the PGF competitors, we are all fans of you. No matter what I said in my articles or during commentary, just know we all want to give you the shine, because if you're not winning, we're not winning. We're all winning together. Period. The fans, the competitors, the staff, the talent, if you count me. But I mean, we love you all. Thank you so much.
And very nice. We did get a note here that just came in right now. It says, huge fan of the new PGF reschedule. Cool. It was unrealistic watching it every day for a week. Too much lifting going on.
100%.
Too much lifing going on. I think that's what it is. My apologies.
Yeah.
I hear you. It is great for the athletes. It is a new struggle for us. But I did tell people this. I'm trying to think of it long term. I want the prices to go up for us. I want us to have streaming and distribution deals so that when I say to my wife, it's like the NFL. If I was called up, I would be traveling. That would be the job. You would go. There is no such thing as I work on a Sunday. You go, no, that's when the games are. So I try to keep that in mind. I would love the NFL pay, though. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, it's a much easier proposition if we had the NFL pay. Now, we're inching there. We're getting there. And we're happy to do that. And we will make inroads. I am quite confident in that. So that's part of the reason why when you hear me going like, hey, Craig, can you think of streaming? Because I think it's a good idea. Because I want to get paid like I'm going each week to the NFL. It may not happen in our lifetime, but it's going to happen because of the foundation of people like Egg, people like Stephen Aiken, people like Brandon, people like all these guys, Keelan, Isaac, all the efforts that they do, Octavio. It builds on that foundation. So, yeah, maybe when we're old and decrepit, there's going to be the younger version of me that's going to make that money. But, I'm not dead yet, so I'm trying to make that money while I'm alive. So, sell the rights, make the money, give it to your staff, and I will say they are very kind to us over there. So, I do appreciate that, and I want to see this continue to grow, and that comes from you guys and us continuing to make it grow. So we got a lot of work to do, but I think we're very excited about the promises and the possibilities of that. Egg, I thank you for making today happen for us and making sure that the show ended up going on, because like I said, there was a big possibility I was just not going to do it today. I might have done it tomorrow. I don't even know. I just know I'm still in a daze, a coma from all the driving, where I think, okay, let's talk about more PGF stuff. That sounds good. I'm a little tired, but I got my wits about me, and I'm going to head out right now. We thank all of you guys for watching along with us. We will be back to our normal schedule, I think, a little bit later. And just to let you know, things coming up here on my side. We got Subversive happening in 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from tonight, you're going to watch live on Spectation Sports. You're going to see the executive producer, a.k.a. me, RAF ESPARZA, doing commentary on that event. We got a big show. It's going out in Long Beach. So if you're out there, go see it live. If you want to order the pay-per-view and watch it at your homes, spectationsports.com is the place to be for that. And then after that, we do a Kids Day. That Kids Day is live and free to the general public on our YouTube channel at Subversive Official. And then your boy is right back to work at the end, the finale, the playoffs for the PGF. But just announced, I will be in town for the Craig Jones Invitational. I will not see most of you, but if you do see me, wave hi. I will be behind the scenes helping out there. So very excited for that opportunity. I'm very glad that we can make that work, and it's going to be a fun one. So I'm very happy to be behind the scenes and loan my talents to that. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us here at the Bullpen. We thank and love you guys. Keep your eyes here for new content. Stuff's coming up every single day. Like, share, comment, all that good stuff. And if you like me a lot, go check me out, patreon.com/grappling hour. You can become a free member if you're cheap or have 2,000 subscriptions. I get it. But if you really want to support me, $5 a month, you see my interviews 30 days before anybody else. And for a few extra dollars, extra bonus content not available anywhere else. All right, ladies and gents, that's going to do it for us here at the Bullpen. Thank you for watching. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.